Hey everybody, welcome back to Kratom Kingdom, aka Kratom with Chris, aka hey, aka anything that gets me hits or clicks. So today I want to talk to you about something specific, and it's very important. Just remember that. It's probably the most important thing you're going to think of today, because I certainly am. I've been doing a study, a personal study. I'm a psychology major, which means I'm a scientist. But in psychology, we're not considered scientists because psychology is considered a soft science, like a fluffy pillow science, where like physics, those are the mad scientists. Those guys, they can measure, they can predict. Psychology, you can't really measure anything. You're not going to measure how many times a neuron lights up for something or what kind of pattern they light up. Yes, they're trying to do that stuff now, because psychology is really, really trying hard to be a hard science. Enter the laughing from real scientists and physicists and chemists and oceanographers. Even oceanographers are more real scientists than a psychologist. Psychology is almost as useless as what's the science of studying people's areas, like customs and norms and values of a certain area. I know because my sister-in-law, we both got our degrees at about the same time, and the big joke was we both got degrees that do nothing but qualify us to be teachers. I mean, she was an anthropologist, and unless you're working for, like, bones or something, you're not going to do anything with an anthropology degree. But she did pretty well for herself, ended up working for her dad for 10 times more money than I was making as a psychologist working at a group home, taking care of, making sure these guys were taking their pills on time. It was like a halfway house that had an on-staff psychologist. So I am a psychologist, technically, theoretically, and psychologically. I think like a psychologist. But anyway, all that has nothing to do with kratom, except for strains. I have been meticulously taking different strains to find out what the difference between strains are. If I take a green, what difference does that make to taking a red? How many different strains are there? And does a strain really matter? I mean, is a red really different than a green? So I will come down to, yes, strain matters. Not just like, does size matter? That's a whole different podcast, which we're not going to. So I don't want to talk about if I'm a grower or a shower. I should edit that out. Edit that out at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Inappropriate content for adults. I'm trying to be a little more professional just in case my subscriber count gets a little higher. I don't want to be offensive. Well, what the hell? I am offensive. That's what I do. I tattoo my entire body in Japanese art and my legs with prison tattoos and my chest and body with prison tattoos just in case I have to go to prison, I want to look like I fit the part. I want to walk in there and have my click set up. I want to be able to shiv somebody in the neck. And this computer's so annoying. It's got this network system. It's a MacBook Pro, which is the nicest thing I own right now. Oh, except check this out. I'm so excited. Let me get my excited dance. My father just passed away. That's not why I'm doing the excited dance. But he just bought a car before he passed away. Not a brand new one, but he bought a 2003 Honda CR-V. And I have a 2003 Subaru Forester with 275,000 miles. He currently has 100 and something thousand miles on it. And they gave me their car. So, because they don't want to pay the taxes and the insurance on a car they're not going to. My mom doesn't drive anymore. She, after 9 strokes, she couldn't drive before 1 stroke. Now she had 9 strokes, so she's off the driving range. I mean, there's no more behind the wheel for her, thank God. Because she used to drive and hallucinate. I think she was having flashbacks from the 60s or something. Way, way back when I was just being thought of. And so, anyway, I want to take all the cool things that I put into my Subaru, like my cool roof rack with the grills and the wind filter on it, and I, my dope ass aluminum wheels. I've got aluminum wheels all around my Subaru they're brand new right now with brand new tires that I just put on them, all weather tires. So I want my aluminum wheels and tires on this new car. So I gotta convince my nephew, probably with money, to hook me up and help me jack up my car and help me take off my four wheels and put those same wheels on another car, take those wheels and put them on my car, and then figure out somehow I'm supposed to rotate the tires in a particular way that I don't know. So part of me is thinking, hey, Chris, yes, you're talking back to yourself. I often do that when I'm alone. That's okay. Anyway, Chris, you could pay somebody to do it. You could take it to a garage and they'll do it in 5 minutes, charge you $20, and it'll be a day. So I think I might just do that. But I gotta do it soon because I'm gonna sell my Subaru for like $500 because it's got the check engine light it needs, so you catalytic converter. Please don't spread this news to anybody if you're talking to anybody that happens to see my car on the side of the road with a for sale sign on it. $600 for... It's got a dent in the back where my dad backed into my car with his school bus and left a big-ass imprint of his bus on the back ass end of my car and didn't tell me. Drove away. I could have had his insurance pay the $1,000 to fix it, but no, he didn't tell me. He drove away. But that wasn't the kind of guy he always was. I mean, he did nice things for other people, mostly. I think I'm just the asshole of the family that no one really likes, but they tolerate. I have a very dry sense of humor, if any sense of humor at all. It's so dry that sometimes... Like my cousin, or my nephew, was making fun of my dad, and I'm like, dude, too soon. And he's like, why? Papa wouldn't care. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's too soon. Don't make me stand up and smack you in front of your mom and humiliate you. And he ran out of the house crying. I'm like, autistic. And they're like, no, he's not. I mean, he might be a little autistic. I'm like, he is 100% autistic. I know. That was my specialty. And as he gets older, his autism and his Asperger's gets more and more obvious. I mean, and his parents know it. That's why they moved him across the street into my mom's house to live with my mom, who is his grandmother. Because if I was 21 and I could live anywhere I wanted, surely wouldn't be with my 75-year-old grandma. I think I'd rather be living with some homies in the hood with dope TVs and... So anyway, back to the shaky dance. I am getting the car by January, because that's when I get paid again. I need $100 to pay for tags and all that stuff. I think I can just take my tags off of one. I wonder if I can just transfer my tags. I'll ask. It doesn't matter. I don't care one way or the other. But, and I'm selling my car that I've had forever with an Alpine. It's the dopest Alpine stereo I could find at Best Buy, which I'm going to do again, and I'm going to have it professionally installing it, because me installing it with one hand, no bueno. For all of you non-Latinos out there, no bueno means no good. Bueno means good, but no, put no in front of bueno and it means no good. That's your little lesson for the day. Back to strains. We're talking about strains and how strains affect us. I am 100% sure that red is more of a painkiller than white or green. I call white and green like filler. They're there to add more kratom to it. Like right now I'm drinking white and green because I've run out of red because I love red so much. Red puts me in a nice, warm, comfy place where white and green gives me a little energy, somewhat. Makes me feel a little goofy sometimes, but my butt still hurts. I mean, does your butt ever just hurt? Like, like from walking? It's because I walk with only one leg, so one butt cheek does all the work, and the other butt cheek doesn't do any work. It's lazy. It's flaccid. So you look at my ass from the back, and it's like bloop, round, and then but the other half is bloop, flat, like my dad's ass was. But both of his ass cheeks were flat. Yes, I had the unfortunate event of seeing both my parents in their elderly age naked when I lived with them, when I was a 50-year-old loser living with his parents, because I didn't earn enough money to live on my own, and I didn't have enough friends to move in with. So I was living with mom and dad at 50 years old, living the most horrible, depressing, wretched life I could possibly be living. Waking up every day with no hope, no reason. Threatened suicide so many times, and was getting better at it. I mean, that's the scary part, is I was getting really good at it. And the one thing that made me feel good was Kratom. When I brought that into the house, they were like, "You're too happy. You're on drugs." Like, yeah. Like, this coming from a man who's 75 years old and smoked weed since he was 14 years old. So, yeah, I'm on a drug called Kratom, and it makes me feel better. It takes away my pain. It gives me a little euphoria, but not like weed does. And I asked you several times growing up, can you please not smoke weed in the house? Because I can't bring any friends over because they'll smell it, and they know what it smells like. And he's like, well, how do you know that they know what it smells like? I'm like, because I go to school with them and we talk about what we do and don't know about girls and anatomy and stuff like that. And drugs. You know, because we were all wanting to be cool. I had my hair down to here. By the time I was 14 years old, you couldn't see my face. It was all just jet black hair. Yes, me with jet black long hair. Me with hair is hard enough to think about. Well, this was about the color of my hair. And it usually came down like, your normal surfer skater cut. Because, yes, I was one of those annoying punk rock skaters that skated on the sidewalk and pissed everyone off. But I had no place else to skate. We weren't allowed to skate on the street because that's for cars. The sidewalks were pedestrians. So where were you supposed to skate? I mean, they didn't build us any skate parks back then. Now there's a few skate parks, but you're entombed into this one block area that's made up called a park. Yeah, guys, let's go to the park. It's a real cool place to hang out and find drugs and meet girls that want to call themselves skate betties for some reason, because they only hang around with skaters. Because skaters are cool. They've got tattoos and they smoke cigarettes, and which had neither, and I did neither. Well, I did have tattoos, but they were the ones I gave myself, which were the very first ones that I covered up. Because tattoos that you give yourself, bad, bad, bad. So let's get back to strains again. Red is a good one. That's my favorite strain because it immediately takes away any pain I have. If I get migraines, I drink one sip of red and my migraine melts away. There's something in it that analgesically just melts away any pain I have. My knees, my elbows, my wrist, on my right side anyway. My left side always hurts. It's never going to not hurt. Which is pretty ironic since it's totally useless. It has no feeling. I can't feel it. Like I'm grabbing it right now and I don't feel my hand feeling it. But I feel pain in it. I mean, it's like the pain, my brain knows there's a hand there because there's pain, but it doesn't know what it is hurting. It's like just a clump of flesh. Like if you were just take your hand and mash it with a dough hammer and then roll it with a dough wheel, then you would know what my hand feels like. And have you ever gone to the dentist's office and they give you that shot in your mouth? Well, you know that numbness that you feel when you leave, you're drinking a glass of water and it just... That's me 24 hours a day for my whole half of my body has that numbness and feels like it's not there. So, I mean, you just have to trust that you do have half of your mouth there. I have to trust that I do have a left leg there. And that's the whole. I have trust issues, people. So this is not good for me. It's not working out well for me. Strains. Hello. Okay, so we're talking about strains. Greens. Greens are more known to give you a little stimulation, a little energy. That's the ones that the farmers like to take at night while they're working because it gives them a little energy. White really isn't known for too much at all. As far as I've found from using it consistently, I've gotten very little from white. But sometimes if I mix white and green together, it intensifies the energetic effect of the green giving me. And if I mix red and green together, voila, then I've got energy and I've got pain relief. I've got a drug, something I can enjoy. To get euphoria from red, I usually need to drink 4 cups like this size, this is like a just 2 cup. It's a big coffee cup, but it's still just a cup, just an enlarged coffee, just an enlarged version of this. If you put them side by side, they're just, you can see one's bigger than the other, but I would have to drink 14 of these cups to even deal with 7 of these. So I'd like the bigger cup. I want a bigger cup. So for Christmas, if anybody wants to get Kratom Kingdom anything, they can get me a soup cup. Just a big, gigantic clam chowder soup cup. And I will drink my Kratom out of that daily. You will see it every day on kratomwithchris.com. I'm really kind of torn because I want Kratom Kingdom back. But this channel is kind of more fun because it goes off on so many zany different topics. It's a little bit more freeing for me. It's almost cathartic for me, just rambling my thoughts, and things come out of me that normally don't. That comes from having no friends. So I've just friended 39 of you I'm assuming from my last 600 migrated over to this channel, because I'm assuming that all you were subscribers of Kratom Kingdom before this channel started. Then you found me and you're like, the mountain still exists. Chris is still drinking Kratom, and Chris will be always drinking Kratom because my life is nothing. If I didn't have Kratom, I would be drinking coffee 24/7, and you know how bad that is for you? And since my father's died, I quit eating. I haven't had anything to eat in 5 days. I'm just not hungry. I guess depression does that to me. I start to think about him at about dinner time, and I'm just like, meh. And my poor mom, I can't even go to her house because my nephews and sister are there, and they have this dark, devious sense of humor that they think it's funny to make fun of my mom and me. And the last time somebody made fun of me, I punched him in the face right here, broke his jaw. Then I punched him again right here, broke his nose. And I said, now who's the crippled one, bitch? And I was dead serious. I was like, if you're going to make fun of the disabled guy, I'm going to show you how disabled I'm not. And I did. Because I used to be a force to be reckoned with when I had 2 arms and 2 legs. And I had a reputation for it as well. Being in this tough guy hardcore band with tattoos and... What other strains are there? There's white and green. I kind of put those two together in the same clump because they're about the same in my opinion. Red is my opiate. And I'm out of red right now, which sucks because I really need some red because I'm starting to feel some pain today. Which is why I'm drinking green and white today. And I need some more citric, something like lemons or lemon juice or Crystal Light. I need something that mixed with it because I don't have any kind of citric acid. I'm just drinking it straight up Kratom, old school, which works, but you just have to drink a hell of a lot more of it to make it your brain know that it's there because it doesn't wake up as fast as when it has citric acid binding to your neurotransmitters. And there's a strain called purple, which you could say is red. If you mix red and green and white together, let's call it purple. So when I have red again, I will mix red, white, and green together and tell you if purple is any good or not. It's a little on the sly. I think that froze. I can't tell if I froze. Oh, yeah, I'm frozen.